Classic. And that's lost it completely.
Why do you think this particular instrument sort of becomes so sort of completely hip in the sort of the recent scene? Why?
It's everything you touch. You know, there's. I mean, I can close my eyes and make sounds that are completely unique to this instrument. You know, so I think you don't need a technical basis to look at these. Also, the operation is, you know, all 10 fingers, no eyes, no problem. You know, it's sort of something's going to happen. You know, if I stand here for long enough, I know that I'm going to find something that's going to turn me on. You know, equally they can be really hard work, and nothing's repeatable.
Right. So how long have you been using it?
I've been using 2600 for about 8 years. And we're lucky enough to have 2 of them. We bought them at a time when they were like £400 or £500, and they're precious things. We've got them linked up with through MIDI voltage converter now, which opens them up even more and makes them very exciting.
Yeah. So when they're fully sort of clockable, then
we've had no problems with them. We had some a chap tweak them for us so that the oscillators were a little more stable, just little things like that. But you don't want to mess too much, you know, because the inherent quality of it is what you don't understand often. It's not the clarity, the perfect tone, or the cleanest signal. It's all the stuff that's attached to it that actually makes it a wonderful thing that it is. It's rich. It makes it unique from another modular synthesizer. You know, it's all different.
Are the pair that you've got different in themselves?
Yes, although, you know, not drastically. You know, I think, you know, if a person first walked up to that, they'd seem very similar. But yeah, there are differences. You know, the oscillators behave differently, slightly different tones. Even the noise generators, kind of, you know, and you get these beautiful idiosyncrasies with these things. You know, it's. See, we should have had this plugged up. We should have had the preamp in. You can feed stuff through it. You know, it's not just a sound source in itself. You know, the way you can modify the sounds that you put through it is quite exciting. You know, loudspeakers. I mean, what a great thought. So it's just all in all wonderful.
What makes this different though from the Moog range?
I mean, not, you know, I've had various Moogs over the years, but never a big modular one, so I couldn't say I'm an expert on that score. But I mean, just kind of what I would say is that as sound sources, they were designed by different people. So even if the principle involved was the same, you know, the actual components, the way it's structured, the way it looks and feels to you, we're getting into guitarist land here now. You know, rosewood, ebony, you know, whatever, you know, it's just those are the differences. I mean, I don't feel precious about these things, you know. I wouldn't pay £4,000 for this, you know. It was worth what it's worth, and you take what you can and use it the way that you can. So it's kind of nice. I'm very happy that we've got them because they've fitted into a place within the studio which is packed full of MIDI and Macintosh equipment.
What function do you find that this performs in your music?
Well, the curious thing is with these older synths is that, I mean, they do tend to do, you know, the classic thing. They do bass sounds. You know, this analog bass is, you know, it's got something. But even things like Oscar, these synthesizers go back some time. I wouldn't stand up and cheer and go, "Way, we should all go analog. Whoa, this is heaven. It's all going to happen and it'll be perfect." But somehow they always seem to end up being used in mixes, whether we're doing remixes or whether it's our own stuff, and it just seems to work. You know, often it'll slot in somewhere where you want it to, or you're looking for something.
Do you find it's just it's got character?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you know, the worst thing about this stuff is that everything is so unrepeatable. You know, we've got charts and things that you mark down, make all the patch, check the tunings, mark them up, come back a week later, and you won't be able to set it up the same. But that's actually what's brilliant about it. And I think especially these days now, because we've got samplers, hard disk recording, so you can capture a unique sound, although you may not be able to tweak it again in the same way. It's there captured either as multi-samples or as a sequence that can be used live. You know, we do quite a bit of that. So it's kind of nice feeling, you know, unlike years ago when I didn't have a sampler, where you lost it, you know, and
Sure.
big books of patch charts, kind of.
Would you use this live?
The last time we actually took it out live was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. But that was more our policy to play in live. It was just, no, this stuff is too precious to me to risk it getting chucked around, you know, and lost. Really, well, you know, which goes to show how much people think of them. You know, I'd happily take a S3000 out, which is worth more, but it's infinitely more replaceable. So,
Give us some more sounds, yeah, wonderful.
okay, well, as bad as the last lot. Oh, what have we got now? Yeah, I could do that. Yeah, we've got the layout of this is actually rather brilliant because it kind of makes sense the way you'd see the sound from the source to the finished result. With the addition on the left here, we've got a preamplifier section which is just for feeding an external sound in. Everything is done through patch chords, much less modular system, so you can route these things to anywhere. That also means you can route them to all the places that they were designed to be routed to, and also the ones that they weren't, which often makes an interesting result. So starting from the left, then we have the preamplifier ring modulator, which is again inputs everywhere. There's inputs for patching stuff in. You can put vocals in here if you want, or use the two oscillators. Sounds quite nice if you put a shortwave radio through here actually and start fooling. Then we've got the three oscillators, the sound sources. Lovely range of stuff, switchable. They've also made things where stuff is patched in already, so you don't have to use patch chords. Basic things like sample and hold, kind of, or the old envelopes. Oh, that's a nice birdie noise, isn't it? And then modulation by other oscillators. Again, you can patch stuff around. You can start creating loops. All sorts of horrible things happen then. Then you've got the sort of mixing stage going through the filter. Again, lots of stuff to plug in. Two envelopes, VCA output, again, very nice. Lots of chances to mix things, ring modulator. And this stuff down here, which although I've had it for 8 years, still has me foxed. But it does some strange things with the actual voltages. And of course, the loudspeakers. Nice sample and hold section, white noise like it should be, with the old thunderous one, and the old thin one, very nice, white and low frequency. The thunderous one, and the old thin one, very nice, white and low frequency. It's amazing how this is interfaced with equipment that's today, you know, just a bit of common sense. External clock inputs, so easy to plug up. You can trigger the sample and hold rates. You can trigger whatever you like, really. And all in all, rather wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you.